Hello, all, welcome to AK Apt Logics. In the previous class, we have discussed about the C data types. We have discussed about the basic data types related information. Okay, we have discussed about the introduction only. Today in this class, we are going to discuss about the data types, each of them in detail. Okay, in this today's class, we are going to discuss about C character data type. Okay, so let us discuss without any delay. So let us discuss about the C character data type, the char type. Okay, the char data type is used to store a single character. Okay, the char data type is used to store a single character. What is meant by single character means whether it may be single A or single B or single number, that is like 1 2 3, or single any special character like comma, full stop, or quotations, or slash, like this, but only needed to be single character, not group of characters. Next, the character must be surrounded by single quotes like A or C. We use the %C format specifier to print it. Okay, we know that using character we can able to only store the single character. To store that single character, you must place the single character in between double single quotes. Okay, like we have space, we have put in this A, right, capital A in the single quotation, right? Like this we need to keep it, and you can see the small c, we have put it in in the single quotation, right? And whenever you wanted to print that variable which you have stored these characters using the printf statement, then you need to use the %C format specifier. Since we have discussed in the previous class, right, we have different format specifiers for different data types to print them using the printf statement, right? So for char it is %C to print the variable into the output. Yeah, example, char myGrade is equal to A. For example, a person or a student who written his exams, he got an A grade, so that we have taken myGrade is equal to A, and you need to notice that we have put the character A in between single quotation. Okay, next, printf %C myGrade. We are going to print that particular variable which is of type char, that is myGrade, using printf, and we can't able to print it directly. We need to use format specifier, so that we are going to use the format specifier %C to print it. Yeah, alternatively, so yeah, let me show you the output, whether we are going to get the output or not. And you need to remember that in output we are not going to get the quotations, single quotations, we are going to get just the character. Okay, let me show you that. Okay, so we are going to use the standard input output library. Why? Because since we have used the printf statement to print the output, so we must include the standard input output library, which is containing this printf and scanf functions, and then int main, where the C programming actually starts, and then flower braces, opening flower braces, and you need to print these two statements in the flower braces and return 0. For example, return 0. Okay, now let me save the code for you and rerun the code. You can see the output we got is A, right? We got the output as A, and you need to notice that we are not going to get the single quotations in the output, since when you are going to initialize or when you are going to assign the value, you must put the single character inside the single quotation. Only when you are going to print that particular variable, then you are not going to get the single quotations in the output. You need to remember that point. Okay, next, alternatively, if you are familiar with ASCII, okay, if you are familiar with ASCII is nothing but American Standard, I think so, yeah, information interchange. Okay, ASCII is nothing but American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay, it is a code of size 8 bits, that is 1 byte. So whatever the character we are going to assign, it is going to have some particular ASCII value. Okay, it is going to have some particular ASCII value, so that only our char data type requires 1 byte size. Okay, since ASCII code requires 8 bits or 1 byte to for a particular character, and we are going to use those ASCII codes only, right? So that our variable requires 8 bits or 1 byte of data to store the variable. Whenever you are going to store this A, then it is not going to store as A in the variable myGrade. It is going to get converted into the ASCII code, and it is going to convert into binary, right? It is going to have ASCII code of 8 bits. In those 8 bits space will be allocated to this particular variable myGrade. Okay, it is going to stored in the bits. It is not going to stored in the character. Okay, as it is the character can't able to store. Okay, whenever you are going to assign A, it is going to get converted into the ASCII code, which is actually a binary code which is allocated to this character. Each character has its unique ASCII code. Okay, these codes are going to get stored in the variables. Okay, for those codes only, memory is going to be allocated. How much memory is going to be allocated? 1 byte or 8 bits. Why? Because these ASCII codes are 8 bit length, 8 bit in length. Okay, so that we are going to use 8 bit memory. Yeah, we can use ASCII values to display certain characters. You can also use ASCII number. For example, this A is corresponded with some ASCII value number. We can also use like this, char myGrade 65 or 69, like this. Okay, for that particular ASCII code 65, which character is assigned, that character will be printed in the output. If you are going to use the %c format specifier while printing the printf. Okay, let us see with an example. Don't worry. Note that these values are not surrounded by quotations, as they are numbers. Means when you are going to assign or when you are going to assign or initialize the characters, then you must put them in the single quotes. But when you are going to use the corresponding ASCII code numbers, and you are going to use those numbers to assign to the variable, then you shouldn't use the single quotes. Why? Because since they are numbers. Okay, for example, A is equal to 65 and B is equal to 66 and C is equal to 67. Here there are 3 variables. Those are A, B and C, which are of type char, and all these variables initialization and declaration is done in the single line with the help of the separator, that is comma in between them, and we have assigned the ASCII values to them instead of assigning in the characters. The characters corresponding ASCII values were used to assign to the variables A, B, C, so that we haven't put the numbers in between the single quotation, right? 65 is not put in the single quotation, right? Whereas in this case, above case, we have put in the A, capital A, in between single quotation. Okay, so like this is using with the help of character. This is using with the help of the corresponding ASCII code of the character. Okay, in 2 ways we can assign. One is using the numbers, one is using the character. Numbers in the sense ASCII code, corresponding ASCII code of that particular characters. We are going to use the %c to print the A. Okay, and we are going to use the percentile C format specifier to print the B, and we are going to use the percentile C format specifier to print the C. Now let me execute this code and show you the output. You are going to see some interesting details in this lecture. Slash include stdio.h, right? Int main, you know right why we are going to use it. Yeah, so I am going to put all these statements inside the int main, and I am going to use the return 0. Now we have used 3 printf statements to print the corresponding 3 variables. Those are a, b and c. So what is the output that you are going to expect? You are going to get the output as a, b and then c. Capital A, capital B, capital C. Let me use the slash n in printf statements so that you will able to understand for which variable you get which character in the output. Okay, yeah, let me save it and rerun it. Okay, let me print the output. So for small a, that is for the value 65, you got the output as a, capital A. For 66 you get B, and for 67 you got C. It means the ASCII code for capital A is 65. So that instead of using the capital A and placing it in between the single quotation, we have used the number that is 65 to print the capital A. Okay, that's the meaning. For example, if you need like this, if you need the opposite case, for example, what I have done is I am going to take this as A. Okay, now I want A's corresponding ASCII code. If you want A's corresponding ASCII code, okay, it will be in the format of number or character. It will be in the format of number, right? Then you need to use percentile D format specifier in the output, so that I am removing C and printing the D. Now what should be your output after executing this particular code after the changes? You need to get the output as 65 B and then C. That is 65 capital B and then C. Let us see whether we are going to get the output or not. See, we got the output 65 B, capital B and then C. I hope you understood what I am going to convey you. Okay, if you need ASCII code of your character, then you use percentile D in the printf. Why? Because ASCII code is a number. If you are going to use the percentile D, then you are going to get the output in terms of number only. Okay, if you need the character, then use percentile C, whether when you are going to use the character itself or you are going to use the ASCII code. Okay, next, for example, let me show you some changes. Let me trick you, let me confuse you. You always needed to get confused while coding. If you get confused, then only you are going to go in a right path and you are going to get a clarity after your practice. A is equal to 1. Let me assign A is equal to 1 and let me remove everything. Okay, let me remove other 2 variables. Okay, so that you might not get confused too much and you can able to understand the details very clearly. Now I have taken the variable A, which is of type char, and I have assigned 1 to it. If I am going to assign 1, it means it is the ASCII. It is the ASCII code, right? For some character. It is the ASCII code for some character. So if you know, if you want to get the character, then in printf what you need to use, you need to use the percentage C. Why? Because you want that character, right, which is the letter, right? So you need to use the percentage C. If you know, if you want the ASCII code itself, then what you guys need to do, you need to use the percentage. So let me save it and let us see what the output we are going to get. So we haven't get anything. It means one is the ASCII code for either to the space, okay, or one doesn't contain any ASCII code. That's the meaning, okay. You can see there is no any character printed over here. It means one is the ASCII code for space. Space is also a character, right? One is the ASCII code for the space, or for one there might be no any character. For one ASCII code there might be no any character, I think so. Let me check it and discuss with you. Okay, so it is showing that I have seen it in Google. Okay, so it is showing that it either may be the blank space or it may be the garbage. Okay, so let us use some other number. Okay, for example I am going to use 3. Okay, let me save it and let us see what is the character that is corresponding to the ASCII value 3. Okay, so let me run the code. You definitely get confused when discussing with the characters, and if you are having the correct practice, then only you can able to understand. So for 3 also we are going to get blank space, so let us use some other character like 18. Virat Kohli, yeah, let us use 18. So for 18 also there is no space. Okay, let me use some 7 Tala. Yeah, so for 7 also there is no space. Let me use 45. Let us use whatever the number that we know. Okay, yeah, you see there is a character that is printed dash. For dash, either you can give like this, you can put dash in between single quotations, or you can use the corresponding ASCII code for the dash, which is 45, right? I have used the 45 and I have used the percentage C to print its corresponding character, so that we got the dash, and I have also printed the ASCII value itself, right? So like this we are going to know it. For example, let me show you. Let me use 1. Okay, you will get very confused while you are going to practice with character, and you must confuse. If you are not going to confuse, then you are not learning anything at all. Now tell me what happens. Now tell me what happens. You will definitely get confused. If you are not going to get confused, you will definitely not learning anything. It's completely a waste of time. Now tell me what will be the character and what will be the ASCII code of that. Tell me. You just think about it. What will be the first statement output and what will be the second statement output? The second statement output will be 1. Do you think that the second statement output will be 1? If we are going to think the second statement output will be 1, then you got confused very much. If you are going to think the second statement output is 1, then you got confused. Sir, you only told you, sir, when you are going to use the ASCII code, then we must when you are going to use the percentage D, we must use the percentage D, and we are going to get the ASCII code value itself. No, sir, no, I have told you that. But here the 1 is not a number. Okay, here the 1 is not a number. 1 is a character. Here 1 is a character. Here 1 is not a number. Here 1 is a character. Okay, why it is a character? Since we have placed it in between single quotations. Anything that you are going to put in between single quotation, it will be treated as character. It is not going to treat as a number. For that, if you are going to use percentage C, then you are going to get the value which is in between quotation itself. For that, if you are going to use the percentage D, then it is going to print the corresponding ASCII value. So that here 1 is a character, not the number, not the ASCII number. So for first case, we are going to get output 1, which is of type character. It is a character. Even though it is a number, we have put the 1 in between single quotations. So it is a character. Okay. We know that it is a number, but is assigned as a character. Okay. 1 is also treated as character. Okay. Yeah. For the second case, we will get corresponding ASCII number for character 1. Okay, let me show you the output and discuss with you. See, so we haven't saved the code. Okay, don't worry, the same output we got it, the previous one. Okay, so see, we got the character 1. Okay, why? Because we have used the percentage C and in between quotations we have 1, so it is printed as 1. We know that 1 is a number, but we have put in the number 1 in between single quotations so that it is going to treat as a character. Okay, and we got ASCII value of 1 as 49, so that only when you are going to use the percentage D, we got 49. Okay, ASCII value of character 1. There is no ASCII values for the numbers. There is only ASCII values corresponding to the characters. All the numbers or anything, all the numbers or all the types of different characters should be treated as only characters when they are placed in between single quotation. Okay. For example, now you need to tell it. If you are not going to tell it, then you are going to learn nothing. Okay. If I am going to put like this 49. Now tell me what will be the first printf statement output and what will be the second printf statement output. It is so easy, right? I explain you in very detailed manner. The first printf statement value will be 1. The first printf statement value will be 1. That is character 1. Okay. Whereas the second printf statement value will be 49 itself. Why? Because since we have used the number and we haven't put in the number in between single quotations, right? So it is a number. Which number? It is the ASCII number. For that corresponding ASCII number, that is 49, the character will be printed for the first printf statement. Already in the previous output, we got the character, right? That is 1, right? You got the ASCII number, right? I have used the same ASCII number here, so that you should get the character as 1. Whereas for the second printf statement, you will get simply 49 itself. Since 49 is a ASCII number and you have used percentage D, so you need to get the 49 itself. So let us see. See, you got the same output, right? Now I am going to confuse you again. Okay. Yeah. I think you not. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Everything is done. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to convince you. Now I have taken A is equal to 49. Now tell me. Now tell me what will be the percentile C. What will be the output for the first printf statement and what will be the output for the second printf statement. I am going to confuse you. You must confuse and you must get a clarity. If you are not being ideal, you are not going to learn anything. Okay, you must confuse in while coding. Confusion is when you are going to get confused, then you are going to learn. Okay, when you are going to not get confused, then you are going to learn nothing. Okay. It's an error. Why it's an error? Tell me. It's a warning. It's showing us a warning. Okay, it's not an error. Why it's showing a warning? See it? Multi-character. Here 49 is a number, we know it. But 4 and 9 are separately treated as two characters, right? When you are going to place it in them in the single quotation, either you should use 9 or you should use 4, right? So it is showing you an error. That's it. Okay. I hope you guys need to observe so many details in this lecture related to the characters. Okay. Yeah. So let us see what is the ASCII code for the space. Okay. I'm running it. ASCII code for space is 32. Okay. Since we have printed the character, there is space. The spaces get printed for the first statement, and for the second statement, the spaces corresponding ASCII number gets printed. That is 32. Okay. So let us move further. So you need to do an hands-on experience. Okay. Then only you can able to understand everything, which I'm going to discuss over here. Let me move further as well, so that the already it's been 30 minutes duration. Notes on character. If you try to store more than single character, it will print the last character. Okay. Sometimes it will print the last character if you are going to use the printf statement. Sometimes it may show the warnings like this. Okay. Sometimes it may show the errors as well. Okay. It depends upon the compiler that you are going to use. Okay. Example: my my text is equal to hello. Okay. Hello is a string of characters or group of characters. It means more than one character. Okay. It is going to print the last character only. What is the last character here? H or O? Last character is O. You always need to see the right hand side. What is the last character? You need to see always right hand side. Okay. O is the last character. When we are going to use the printf statement, then in output you are going to get either you are going to get an warning or error, or you are going to get the single O. Okay, let me run and show you the output. I think it is going to get O. In the previous case we have used number, right? So that it is shown as the warning. Why? Because for all the numbers, if you need to have an ASCII for all the numbers, if you need to have the ASCII code, then it's impossible. Okay. and it is can't able to differentiate, okay, while in case of numbers. You don't worry, okay, you just practice by your own. This is very confusing topic. If you are not going to get confused, then you are not going to learn nothing, anything. Yeah, let me save it and rerun it. Let me clear it first, terminal. Okay, yeah, something is happened. See, we got an error. Sorry, we got a warning. Okay, I told you, right? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. I understood what happened. See, even though you are going to get warning, we are going to get warning only. We are not going to get errors. Even though you are going to get warning, if you are going to run the executable file, you are going to get the output. It means it is going to give you warning plus output. Okay, it is going to show you the warning and it is going to print the last character. For the previous case, we have used the 49, right? For that also we are going to get the similar way, I think so. Let me use it. You need to get the 9, right? Why? Because 4 and 9 are two characters and 9 is the last character, so that we need to get 9. That is, see, we got the warning, right? But I haven't run the executable file previously. So that let us run what happens. Let us see. Yeah, we got the output. See, I do forget so many things. So while coding, I got to know, yeah, we are going to get the output as last character, that is 9. We got the output, right? So you must practice by your own, then only you can able to get more details. Today in this class, I got one detail, okay? Yeah. So it means it is going to show you warning. If the program is going to show you an error, then you are not going to get any output. But if your program is going to show you an warning, then you are going to get an output, since even though it is going to show you an error, sorry, even though it is going to show you an warning, it is going to give you the output. Okay, give you the output for that particular situation. Okay, if your program gets error, it is not going to give you any output. It is going to show you the error. You must rectify it and rerun the program to get the output. But if your program is going to show you the warning, then if you are going to run the executable file, then you are going to get the output. But it is going to tell that it's not correct. You shouldn't use like that. Okay? It is going to give you warning. That's it. Yeah. Note this all these points. Okay. Then only you can able to know. Yeah. Don't use the char type for storing multiple characters, as it may produce errors. It may produce errors. Generally, it produces warnings and then you may get output. If it may produce errors, it depends upon compilers, right? I told you, right? Depends upon different compilers. If compiler is very strict, then it is going to give you error. Why you are going to use like it? You just change it. It is going to tell like that. If compiler is very it is not strict, means it is going to tell you, no problem. Yeah, you just execute it. You are going to get out like that. Like an invigilator in our exams. Okay, only invigilator doesn't see anything. Even if we are going to make a mass copy, one invigilator will always see at ourselves. Even though if we are going to ask pen for the person beside of us, like that. Okay, compiler also is like that. There are so many types of compilers. Every compiler, we are not going to get same output in every compiler. We are going to get different outputs for different cases. For very rare cases, we are going to get different outputs. For all other cases, we are going to get similar. Okay, next. To store multiple characters or whole words, use strings, which we are going to discuss in the later chapters. Okay. Example. Yeah, like this we are going to declare. If you want to declare the multiple. If you want to use the multiple characters needed to be assigned, like this we are going to use. But you don't see anything. I'm not going to explain it anything now. Why? Because the lecture become very heavy till now. So let me, I will discuss this strings when the strings topic came. Okay, for just now, that we use strings for multiple characters or text and the character for single characters. Yeah, only this point you remember. Char is used for storing the single characters, whereas strings are used for the storing the multiple characters. And there is a single point you need to remember, that is, for char we use single quotations, and for string we use double quotations, and we will place in between them. Next, that's it. I am not going to give you any summary for this lecture. You should understand yourself. Okay, or else let me give you. Okay, but even though I'm going to give you, you might not get understood what I'm going to tell you. You need to watch this lecture either for at least 2 times. Then you are going to understood and details, hidden details, and so many details will be in front of our eyes only, but we can't able to observe them. So that, let me give you the summary. This is the short summary for this lecture. Okay, char. For char variable, we can assign either character by placing it in between single quotations, or you can assign directly a number, which is, to be precise, ASCII number. And if you are going to use the %c, then you are going to get the character. If you are going to use the %d, then you are going to get the ASCII number of that particular character when you are going to print using the printf statement. So these are the points that you need to remember. So I never recommended like this for the previous lectures. This lecture is most important in the sense, as a topic it is not that much of important, but it is important. Why? Because so many members get confused in this topic. So I recommend you invest more amount of time to practice in this topic. Okay, that's the only request for you. Okay, then only you can able to understand what is what actually. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.